this is Rookling Heroes set up ready to play. As you can see, we have 2 squads of 3 Rooklings facing off against each other. And the important things to note going into battle are the triangle-shaped threshold markings on each of the cards. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be assigning energy cards from our hand to try and meet or beat those thresholds. When the arrow's pointing up, that is that number or higher, and when the arrow's pointing down, it's that number or lower. And if the arrow is of a specific colour other than grey, then that means we have to use that specific energy of that colour, which is usually the colour of the Rookling in question. On top of that, they might have a special ability written on in their caption box, and that will either have a threshold 2, again, an arrow to meet or beat, up or down, or there'll be a passive ability that is just in action all the time. Over to the side of the play area, you can see we've got our field effects ready for our specific Rooklings. We'll have special field effects outlined on their cards, so you'll have those ready out of play, which will be called into play by their special effects. We also have our life trackers here. These obviously aren't final artwork. These will look much nicer when it comes out properly, but at the moment we're using some coloured counters to represent our Rooklings and this grid at the moment just to track our life that goes 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and out like that. And the important thing to note is that when a Rookling's HP reaches 0, and normally the game would start at 6, or there's various other play modes where you can start at different health amounts, then when a Rookling's HP goes to 0, that Rookling doesn't go out, the card instead flips over and you'll see a different form. And when all of your Rooklings are flipped, you lose. But we'll go into what happens when a Rookling flips over into their siege state when that happens. But we started a game here as if we're midway through, just so this video doesn't track on too long. So what I will do is I will draw, what's the word? Deal, that's the word I'm looking for. Out some cards to each player. So you can have a hand of 4.
Thank you.
And I will have a hand of 4. And we'll say for sake of argument that I'm attacking and you're defending. What would happen if this was the very start of the game is that basically the rule is that you can only draw your hand back up to 4 after your attack. But on the very first turn of the game, the defender would also get to draw up their hand. But we're going to say, because we're mid-game, you won't be drawing up, and the attacker obviously will be. So as an attacker, I have my hand of cards, and I'm going to dedicate some cards to my attack. And also as an attacker, I can move my Rooklings around. I can only do that on attack phase. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my Shard Rookling into the middle there. I'm going to assign this energy here. Yep, so it's a strong starting hand, if I'm honest. And then I think I'm going to place this here and this here. Right, so what this means is, I did have some dice for attack numbers, but I seem to have put them somewhere. Give me a second, here we go. These will be represented by counters in the final box version of the game, but for now we'll use some dice. So, this Rookling has the ability to, if I use a 4 or higher energy card of his colour, then he swings for 2, and he also gives +1 to his neighbouring Rooklings this turn. So because I've met that, he's going to swing for 2 damage down the middle. So that's coming here. And then he's going to boost both of his 2 Rooklings, who I've also managed to make attack for 1 and 1 respectively, because I don't have their special situations. Because they get the plus from him, they're also going to swing for 2. And so I'm going to present a total attack to you using 3 energy cards for 2, 2, 2. And you're going to be faced now with defending. And you're going to have to address each of these attacks coming down each of those pipes, as it were.
Thank you. So that's a strong hand, strong attack. This guy can only defend for 1, regardless of what
That's right, yes.
I use. So he's going to be taking a damage. This guy can defend for 2 if I have 5 or lower of any colour. So I am going to do that because that seems like a good thing to do.
That's a good idea. So let's take that away. Yeah.
This guy can defend for 2. Now he's got a special ability being of pulse variety, where they're kind of like energy manipulation. If he can match the colour of the incoming attack, he defends for 2.
That's
so
right.
It doesn't matter about number, it defends about colour. Now you're attacking me with purple.
I am indeed.
I sadly don't have any purple.
I thought you were building up to saying you could do that. Okay,
sadly
fine.
not. So he's also going to be taking at least 1 damage.
Okay.
I could let it hit and take 2. because he is on 4 life currently. But I don't have the strongest attacking hand, so I think I'm just going to use it to defend the best I can. So he's going to defend 1 of that.
And take 1 damage.
Take 1 damage. So purple, which is bubble, is going to go down onto 3 life.
Okay, so that's sorted that one out.
And then I'm going to let him just take both. So he's going to go down to 1
It's getting
life.
a bit squeaky bum there in the middle, but that's fine. So that's all my attacks. So at that point then, we then clear all our energy off the board, and we put that in the Discord. However, his attack allows me to shuffle up to 3 sword field effects into the field deck. So I'll grab these from just outside here.
And what do the swords do?
So the field effects and these swords particularly, these work just like energy. So just like we saw before with an energy card having a number at the top, these also work as energy. And they're going to end up shuffled into the energy deck, and either player might be able to draw them. And when they will then use them as energy, but then after they have been used as energy, they will slide under the Rookling who's they've just benefited, and that token will be in action. And in this particular case, that token grants +1 to that Rookling's next attack. So basically what's happened here is Edge has done his big attack, he's scattered swords all over the battlefield, and now potentially either player has the chance to pick up one of those swords and use them to boost one of our attacks.
And it says up to 3 sword effects.
It does, that's right, yes.
You've chosen to go with all 3.
I've chosen to go with all 3 because I want to go really wide and silly in this game. If there was a strategic reason, for example, perhaps the draw pile had gotten a little low, and you maybe thought, well, if I put 3 in, then perhaps they're all going to go to the next player who's going to draw them. You might just only want to put 1 in. Don't give him too much power, your opponent too much power. Either way, they're in there now.
And they can stack, can't they? You can, if you choose not to attack, you can
correct.
Collect swords and then do a super-powered attack later on.
Since I just attacked, I'm now going to draw back up. Who knows, I might draw one of those swords I just put in there. I'm not going to tell you if I have or not. And now it's over to your defence, but only with the cards you have
My
left.
attack, yes.
Sorry, your attack, yes.
I only have 2 cards.
Okay, very good.
But I'm happy to say that one of them does allow Delvey to do his burrow effect. So that says 3 or lower red, and I have a 3 red. I get to place a tunnel token under this Rookling and the opposing Rookling, and then deal 2 damage. Now the tunnel's quite unique in the sense that these field effect cards don't go into the deck. They instead go on the battlefield.
Yeah.
And it's, rather than being attached to a Rookling, it's actually attached to the place.
That's right, it's a fixed token. So this is in this location. Yeah. The Rookling can still move around.
Yeah.
But now there is a
damage dealt in this channel cannot be blocked. And this lasts till the end of my next turn. That's right. It's this turn, your turn, and my next turn.
So I get 1 use of your tunnel.
Yes. But I get 2 uses. So if I could grab these, there is 2 unblockable damage coming down the tunnel.
Not a lot I can do about that.
And then because I can rearrange, I'm just going to have a think about, because this guy is on 5 life, isn't he?
He is indeed.
This guy is quite low, so I'm going to attack him because I want to see if I can get him sieged.
Okay, so that's coming in for 1.
So 1 damage here and 2 unblockable damage coming down the tunnel.
Well, I think you're going to siege him.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting. So there's nothing I can do about that.
There is nothing.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take his token off the life board, and he is going to siege. Now, when this happens, any excess damage that might have gone over the top just disappears into the ether, and kapow, suddenly he is now in his what we refer to as siege state. What's unique about a Rookling in siege state is that they can no longer take any damage. So any damage directed at them that they don't block will now spill over onto a neighbour Rookling, and this will start to cause a chain reaction that will lead to all of your Rooklings getting sieged.
So a siege mode does still get a chance to reduce the damage,
Absolutely.
Or block it entirely before it spills over.
That's exactly right. But when in siege, they do get a bit of a bonus, and now he can defend for 3 and 2 instead of 2 and 1 like he could before. So they do get a little bit stronger at this point. Either way, that's happened.
Yeah, he's taking that damage.
I'm a third of the way to losing the game.
Great.
And then we've also got 1 coming down here, and I think I can do something about that, and I think I'd like to. So I'm just going to put this here, and I'm going to block that 1.
Okay,
so that's cleared away.
All right.
So with that resolved, you get to draw up as you attacked.
Yeah.
And I am now the new attacker, and I can only work with what I've got, but I do get that sweet tunnel.
Yeah, and don't forget, on your attack, you can move your Rooklings around.
I fully intend to, yes. Okay, so, unsurprisingly, I'm going to put my big swinger down the pipe.
This could backfire massively on me.
Yeah, what's red at? Yes, looks like I could siege him with this.
He's only on 2 life.
Which would be delightful for me. So, let's have a think about the best use of all these cards. Probably. Let me think. Yeah, let's just do... We'll do a 2 attack back at you down the pipe.
Great.
And then we'll do a just a 1 here.
Okay.
That's the best I can manage, I think.
So same that I dealt to you.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Okay.
I just mirrored your attack.
All right, well, I can't block this. So Delvey goes on to 0 life.
And he also...
And he is now sieged as well. So he becomes more defensive as well. He can now block for 3 if I can afford it, rather than just 2.
That damage has been resolved.
And then 1 damage coming here. Sadly, again, I can't match the colour of that energy, but I don't need to. You're only coming in for 1 damage.
That's true.
So let's just use this yellow card here to block that 1 damage.
Great stuff. That's blocked out.
Yes.
We'll clear the energy off.
Oops.
I will draw back up since I was attacking. And it's over to your attack.
Okay. Right, so let's have a think here.
You've got the last use of the tunnel now.
I have got the last use of the tunnel. What do I want to send down it? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring him out and I'm going to pop Rhyme in the tunnel. Now, the reason I've chosen to do that is even though I can still only afford to attack for 1 like the other ones this turn, he has a passive ability that says if you don't fully block his attack, you get frozen.
Of course, I won't be able to block it at all.
So freeze means that you miss your attack turn with that Rookling and you can't move him on your attack turn either.
That's right.
So even though it's only going to be 1 damage, I'm going to take full advantage of doing that. And I'm going to power that attack with a sword.
Very good, very good. Cool.
So I'm really setting myself up for my next turn as well. So this is 1 energy, and as you can see, 1 or higher will attack for 1.
Important thing to note about field effects is they all come in grey energy. They're not colour specific. That doesn't matter, obviously, for grey thresholds, which are any colour.
Yeah.
But if you did want to make, say, this threshold, beat it, then you would not be able to with the field effects. It's not blue.
Yes. And then I also don't have... I've basically got your card. So again, I can't do anything particularly special, but I'm swinging in for 1 and 1.
Sometimes going wide in this game is actually really, really good. Damage numbers are pretty low. But I now am forced with, if I'm going to defend all of these 1 attacks, which I could do very easily, but it would use all the cards out of my hand, and I'd only have 1 left to attack, which I don't love, obviously. This one's unblockable.
It is.
There's nothing I can do about that, so that's going to go straight through and take him down 1 and apply a freeze token to him. You may as well clear the tunnel off the board now, because the tunnel's use is completed. So... you take the tunnel back. That sits outside of the play in case you're ready to activate that again. So now this Rookling is frozen for his next attack. But I'm still defending these here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very simply just put a couple of cards in front of those to just block those out. There we go. So as you can see, even though he's sieged, if I can block still, I don't have to worry about that spill damage just yet. It's not too scary. And
I'm going to attach my sword to Rhyme.
Yep, so that's ready for your next attack.
Next attack is going to get +1.
There we
which
go.
Is going to be
very
great.
Good. And now I use what I've got left over to swing back at you. And this is where I can do something, hopefully, a bit fun. So he can't move at all and he can't attack either, so I'm just basically going to ignore him. I'm going to swing for 2 here. Yes, and then I'm going to just swing for a measly 1 here.
It's not bad though.
It's not
bad
no.
At all. Okay, so unfortunately, oh no, I can block. Yeah, no, I'm just being silly. Right, he can block for up to 3 now that he's sieged.
He's powered up. Yeah.
So he's sorted.
Okay, you've sorted that out.
Yeah, and then I'll use. Ooh. I'll use this to block for 1 as well.
Okay, so really sorted me out there. That's fine. Get rid of all our energy.
Yeah.
Should mention as well as if you're an attacker and you've got energy left in your hand at the end of your turn that you don't know what to do with, you can also discard that before you draw up as well.
Right.
Okay.
I'm quite excited about this next hand.
Oh no.
Because for the first time...
My frozen's timed out, by the way.
You're frozen this one.
Yeah.
For the first time, I'm going to be able to use Bubbles' passive ability. So Bubbles' ability says he emits an aura where neighbour Rooklings can also use Pulse Energy as their colour type. Now I have 2 Pulse Energy cards here. So I'm going to activate His special, which again creates a tunnel with unblockable damage.
Oh my goodness, because that's 3 or below red, but you're using purple instead. Fantastic.
And there's your tunnel
Great.
token.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
So we have 2 unblockable damage coming down that channel, and then he is going to do his strong attack because this is going to masquerade as blue energy using Bubbles' ability.
But it also gets a +1.
It also gets +1 from the sword, so he's coming down for 3.
Oof.
And again, if you don't block it, he's going to
get frozen again. And I can't block 3 because I can only block 1 with this Rookling anyway. This is an incredible use of the energy you had in your hand and Bubbles' ability.
Yes.
What a threat to give to me, particularly this late in the game, as it were, as well. So, this is bad. So with that tunnel, there's nothing I can do about that.
No.
It's unblockable.
But you do get... Oh, no, I was going to say you get a chance... Normally, you would get a chance to block it before it spills, but you don't
Using tunnel on a siege Rookling is really, really good because now I can't even block conventionally. So that damage is coming this way. There's just no way. I can, however, assign energy here to try and block that new direction of damage.
If I had been attacking down the central channel as well, you would have to choose which direction of energy you'd be blocking.
Rookling's going to do one thing, one action per turn. If 2 attacks are coming at a Rookling, that Rookling can only defend 1 of those. Yeah. This is what we would call cornering in this game, where if you can provide 2 attacks at 1 Rookling by virtue of siege, then you really put your opponent in a really tricky position. Obviously, you didn't quite do that this time, but obviously that's what we're talking about here. So I can actually meet his 2 defense threshold here. Which is super lucky with him.
Yeah,
so that's gone this way and I've blocked it.
So even though the tunnel says it's unblockable...
It now becomes blockable
because
outside
it's
of the tunnel. Yeah, in a weird sort of way, the siege mode has made it blockable. It's kind of weird that. 3 coming in here, very little I can do about that. So I'm just going to block... Ooh, I'm going to block 1 of it.
Okay.
He takes 2.
And he's frozen again.
And he's frozen, which was inevitable anyway.
I love freezing your big hitter. That is...
I don't love it as much. Yeah, thank you so much. Cool.
Right, my sword is now used up, so that's going to go outside of the game.
Yep, and now you get to draw back up.
I do.
And I now have 2 cards left to attack, and I think we're going to leave it there. Basically, that gives you a sense of how play-by-play works in the game. Play would continue until one of us had sieged all 3, or one had 3 of our Rooklings, all 3 of our Rooklings sieged, and at that point the game is over, and the one who remains wins.
Yeah. I think you've stopped because I drew another amazing hand, and you're just scared. So.
Yes, that's exactly it. I psychically was aware of how incredible that. You're getting all my swords as well, which is just so unfair. But that's how the game goes sometimes. I hope that gives you a sense of how the game works. And there's loads more Rooklings in the game, loads more field effects. Each Rookling has its own, if they create field effects, they have their own unique ones. Yeah. So playing with different squads and different combinations gains you access to different field effects. Some of them buff, some of them hurt. The idea of them all is to feel a little bit different in the game. When it gets right to the end, you've got 2 sieged Rooklings and your opponent's got 2 sieged. The game comes alive in a really weird new way as well, where you're kind of stronger, but you're also incredibly vulnerable, and it becomes very squeaky bum at that point as well. So there's lots more exciting combos to play, but hopefully that gives you a sense of it. Thanks for listening, guys.